Welcome to the Heart of Giving. As you know, we're talking about the nonprofits in the city of Long Beach. And we've been on the air now for almost, or maybe 2 years. And we've had so many nonprofits in the community that you should know about. Nonprofits are taking the soul of the city. Today we have a nonprofit that is a little bit different, but one that is vital importance. Derek Simpson is here, and he is in charge of all of this. And I'm going to have him talk to you about the two major areas that his programs have for the community. And Derek, you've been on the program before.
Yes.
And we get a chance to know you actually personally on one of them.
Right.
But the other was talking a little bit about PadNet. But right now, you are in a new location. And I see that the studio looks about the same, and
Yes.
but the area has grown that you're responsible for.
Yes.
And there are there are lots of segments, but I think the two major segments, when you talk about PadNet, you're talking about the filming part,
Right.
and that's the public access. And when you talk about CAP, C-A-P, that's an entirely different area.
Right.
And covers many, many different programs.
Yes.
So let's talk about PadNet first.
Sure.
Because that's going to be the shortest, I think, shorter of the two.
Right.
Tell us, what does PadNet mean?
Well, first, thank you for having me back as
Good.
a guest. Again, it's always a pleasure. PadNet is an acronym for Public Access Digital Network. It's
Okay, Public Access Digital Network. I never add that to it. So.
Yes, and we felt that that was important when we wrote the original grant that allowed us to relaunch public access in Long Beach, because we wanted it to be clear that public access wasn't going to be just about watching it on a specific channel, that we were also going to have it universally available via the internet. And so therefore, when you watch anything on channel 32, if you have Charter, or 41 if you have Verizon, know that it's also streaming on our website, padnet.tv, anywhere around the world. So literally, for instance,
I didn't know that.
Yes, my sister works and lives in Dubai right now. And so from Dubai, she can go on to padnet.tv.
Well, she'll like seeing this program. You know, you're looking good and healthy and okay.
So I have to say, that's probably the FaceTime that we'll get between now and the next 6 months that I see her. But that's exciting for members because, as you know, Long Beach is a very international city. Many of our members come from different countries and different other states around the United States. And so for them to know now that they are a part of something that's locally originated but globally available is a great opportunity. And we're doing it in a first-class manner. So PadNet now, as it's grown, has grown beyond the original $320,000 grant that we got that allowed the city to match us with the...
But you haven't stopped it.
We haven't stopped, and that was a strategic decision that our management team, supported by our board of directors, made maybe 2 years ago, to say that, look, when you look at the corporate mission and vision, which is to advocate for low-income populations in our community and advocate for livable wages and advocate for those things that will provide more equity and balance in the community across socioeconomic boundaries, what better way to advocate and get the word out than to have your own TV network and capabilities of getting it out via PSAs, via shows like this that showcase nonprofits that are working with people from all different socioeconomic sectors of our community. And so we're doing this not only locally with PadNet, but we've also done things for our state association, of which I'm on the board of directors, and we've done public service announcements for our national network, because Long Beach Community Action Partnership is one of 1,100 community action agencies around the United States. So the only way that PadNet could remain on the air as it is this day is that Long Beach Community Action Partnership folded it in to our corporate mission, because it does touch on our mission, and we therefore made it such as a program, just like our teen
And it's
program.
a learning for people to be part of this this occupation.
For this industry. And that was a part of my vision when I originally went for this grant, because we created in 2007 the Leadership Academy Mentoring Program, or LAMP is the acronym, and that was our teen program. And in that, because of my background in television and my interest in music, I decided to use television production, music production, graphic arts, and photography as digital media that would be the hook to get teens excited, you know? And then once we got them excited and got them here, we gave them the leadership components. We talked to them about things such as problem solving and decision making, and civic engagement, and etiquette. You know, B is for bread and D is for drink when you sit at a banquet table. How many times do you and I go to dinners and somebody takes our glass, you know, or takes our bread plate or whatever? You know, simple things that make a big difference, right? And as that evolved, and we had teens creating phenomenal music videos and other little vignettes video-wise, it was right at the timing of the grant opportunity to relaunch public access. And I convinced my board that, hey, if we're teaching teens livable wage job skills, such as working in a TV studio, why not take
Apply
the next
for this
step?
grant.
Yes, and then give them a TV network. And not only the teens now, let's incorporate all of the community. There are many people out there that are trying to get job development, to hone their skills or get a little bit more that helps them be a bit more prepared for that job they want to go for. And rather than go and enroll at, let's say, City College for a semester or try to get at Cal State, this is an opportunity via classes that Lisa and her team have created to come in and get a Final Cut Pro class or get a studio production class. And for some people, that might be just the edge that they need for a job opportunity. So you say—
It's actually in service training.
Totally. It's hands-on. I mean, you met Malign earlier. Started out here as an intern. Now she's on our team. Angel, who works here in the studio, started out as a part of our LAMP program. Now he's an amazing editor and works with us. And so my vision is that we continue to do that, that we have closer alliances with Long Beach City College and with Cal State to be a place for interns to come.
That's great.
Which will help them, but it also helps us because we can't afford the full crews that we need.
But you are not really an arm of this, well, you're not paid as a city person. You are an arm of the city that is bringing in nonprofit funds to help different aspects in this program and your other programs.
Yes. You know, I often get asked by people who see me in the streets, you know, hey, how's things in the city manager's office? They get Reggie Harrison and I confused. And I'm like, look, no, I'm the other guy in the suit. But we're not a part of the city. We are a nonprofit. It just so happens, however, that we receive federal funding. So we receive our core funding, community service block grant money from HHS, and our energy program comes from the same department of the state as well as from the Department of Energy. So
you have several grants going then.
Yes, yes. PatNet is actually not even our largest program.
Well, we'll get to those other programs in just a minute, because I know that they have as many people working on it as we have here.
Yes, absolutely, even more so. But we're really proud of PatNet. We're proud of where we've come. You know, we're in this new studio. In fact, this is the first opportunity to use our new studio. So thank you.
Well, we've
for
got the same ambiance here, so
same.
that's very good.
It's working out well, and the
I
AC
forgot the
is
flowers
perfect.
today, but other than that.
Well, you're glowing, so you compensate for that.
Dear. Yeah, thanks.
So I think that that we have a great facility from the front door. When you walk into this new facility here where we are located, from the front door to the back wall in that particular entrance of our facility is pretty much all PatNet, either directly or shared space. For instance, what is a training room, a small training room, also will double as a green room. What is our what our computer lab, where we have the full Adobe suites and we have iMacs in there. It's a first-class computer lab. also doubles for training for our teens and the community. So we've really leveraged in every way that we could the best of Long Beach Community Action Partnership to create the best public access studio operation that we could within the state of California, let alone in the Southern California area.
Well, the PadNet is the one, of course, that we're involved with today.
Yes.
But the other times that, at your other location, there were times when you couldn't find a place to park, you know, because of the other things that you were doing. So let's leave PadNet for just a moment, and we can come back to it. But the other things that you are doing, and you showed me a little bit around for the facilities and programs that you have, and that, as you say, some of those programs are larger than the PadNet.
Yes.
This is just has an access point. I mean, this has a point that's more visible. So what are the other community action partnerships you have?
Yes, well, as a community action agency, as I said, our core mission is to help families move from poverty to self-sufficiency. And throughout the United States, community action agencies use maybe one of 10 different ways of doing that. When I took over this agency, it was 9 years ago, May 1st.
Is that right?
9 years I've been executive director here. And when we took it over, it was 23 staff and about 1.3 million in budget total. Today, we're averaging about 80, upwards of 110 staff at one point, and maybe about 9.4 million.
No, they're not all full-time people.
No, no.
No, they're
These are
part-time people that come in to do their particular task.
Exactly, and they're not all located in this facility, which is our headquarters. So we have, for instance, what we call our Community Advocacy and Family Services Program, where we found that in my time here, I teach StrengthsFinder nationally, which is on the premise that—
You teach what?
StrengthsFinders. It was researched by Gallup, and the premise is, simply put, that we all have inherent talents, that if we identify what they are and build those talents into strengths, that's when we can become our personal best. So I applied that to an agency and said, what are our inherent talents as an agency, and how can we build on that to become our best? And therefore, when we found that the community needed things such as senior programs and needed things such as child care for homeless, rather than us trying to hire staff and figure it out, we passed through about $140,000 of our grant funds to subcontracts to 5 other agencies or 4 other agencies in our community so that they can do what they do best. They then provide a great service to the community that needs it, and we can count the numbers saying that we helped make that happen. And so you may not know.
What would the 5 be?
Children Today is one. Heart of Ida is Interval House, and Villages at Cabrillo. So those are all subcontractors to Long Beach Community Action Partnership that receive small subcontracts from us. And you would never know that, but we're behind the scenes helping them do what they do best.
But it isn't part of your facility here at all.
No.
So I didn't know you had the fingers out to the others.
And I would love to continue to do that as we gain other resources. But unfortunately for us, our core CSBG funding was reduced because the 2010 census said that poverty was reduced in Long Beach. I don't know what they were counting, but because we still have literally some mornings 2,000 calls a morning just for utility assistance throughout East and LA County, which leads me to talk about our energy program.
Yeah, no, just so that PadNet is one thing. That's your public access. And the grants that you give to 5 other groups. And then today, when your facility, first time I've been here, and you're still moving in, you showed me areas for about 4 different things that are going on in this facility. Okay, let's talk about those. Well,
when you come to our new offices here at 117 Victoria Street, here in Long Beach.
Which is difficult to find.
Yes.
You were on the corner of Long Beach Boulevard and Spring, and I could find
very
that
prominent
really easily.
corner there, yes, it was. And we'll miss that site, but we'll make this one.
This is Long Beach Boulevard and Victoria.
And Victoria, yes.
Okay.
And I just tell people, as soon as you cross over the Long Beach Freeway, if you're on Long Beach Boulevard, or get off on that exit, go 2 lights and turn left, and there you are. But here in our facility, the 2 main programs that you will find are our PadNet facility and our teen programs.
Teen programs is what I was thinking of.
For our teen program. So we'll have a state-of-the-art recording studio, just as even better than we had at our last office, for those youth that want to pursue either music from the standpoint of being behind the microphone, or being an engineer, or being in any other elements of that. We want to bring in the experts to help expose them to that particular industry. Again, an industry that's very prominent in Southern California. So that was key to us. The other part of that is that we'll have a full photography studio. I'm talking with different professional photographers to see who might want to come in and teach that curriculum for 10-week cycles, and then teach them everything from this is a camera.
So we've got a studio, we've got a photography studio,
and then we have our silk screening business, which has really grown, where teens come in. They, instead of drawing on walls in the community, hey, come and learn how to channel that talent into graphic arts capability or merchandising.
And you have graphic arts teachers?
Yes, and so we'll have someone doing that. And so you have one space is available for silk screening operations, one space is available for the photography studio, and then you saw the music studio. And then we have our large conference room, which is where we will continue to help people with utility assistance.
Now that's a big program.
That's our largest program.
Okay, and so start from the beginning for that. When you say a program that is assisting low income with their utility bills.
Yes, when we first received that contract, staff looked at me like I was crazy when I said I wanted to go for it. But I felt like that was what would buoy Long Beach Community Action Partnership to the next level in terms of its sustainability for the longer term. We had that contract years ago, and my predecessors, for varying reasons, let it go. And so it only comes around once in a lifetime, literally. Many of my agency, my peer partners in the state and through the nation provide what's called utility assistance. So a person comes into our offices, they bring proof of income, they bring their utility bill, and they bring proof of residence. And our team, based on their eligibility, can then pledge the bill one time a year. Sometimes as little as $50 and maybe upwards of $500 to that utility company one time a year. So since we received that contract in 2010, 2011, we have paid over $11 million in utility bills. Our service area covers, it's sort of a banana shape. It covers from Palos Verdes all the way up to Laverne. So sort of the 605 freeway over to the Orange County line. I kind of to use visuals, you know. But that's our service area. So that's the one program that transcends the boundaries of Long Beach. All of our other programs are in Long Beach proper. But that program at one point was the largest utility assistance program in the state. But because of some changes in boundaries, we're not the largest, but we're one of the largest.
So about once a month you have access for people in the community to come to this facility and show the proof that you have said, and then they get assistance with their utility bill.
Yes, we didn't want it to be a hardship for people, let's say in Pomona, to drive to Long Beach for this, or people in Whittier, or people in Azusa. So early on in this process, I went around and then our staff, led by Marissa Semense, and we established partnerships with, like, let's say the Azusa Library and some other strategic locations. I think we have 4 or 5 locations where citizens from those respective geographical areas can come to those locations and get the information that they need. But yes, we'll have it here ultimately, where we will have small groups come in and bring that information, and our staff will be here to accommodate them. And when they leave, one time a year, their bills will be addressed. Now, from that large group of people, And mind you, we get some mornings, as I said earlier, 2,000 calls for people who need that assistance. So again, poverty hasn't necessarily gone away. It's just kind of taken a different shape in terms of this economy. But we will accommodate as many as we can. And from that large number that we pay utility bills for, then we look at priorities based on maybe it's a senior citizen that has a oxygen machine or something that needs more electricity. Or maybe it's a single mom with infants that needs to have air conditioning or some sort of assistance because they're living near the San Bernardino County line where it gets pretty hot in the summertime. We'll prioritize, and for about 2,000 households in this same period of time, we've gone in and weatherized those households. So that means that we've changed out windows, we've changed out doors, we've put in new insulation and ceilings, we've changed out refrigerators, microwaves.
When you say we, you haven't got people that do it, but you get people to do it.
No, we have people that do it. That's part of our staff.
Oh, you have people that do it?
Yes. In Santa
Part of your staff?
Yes. See?
Oh, Derek.
See?
I didn't know that.
Yes, we have big panel trucks that you'll see. We have, I think, four, I believe, panel trucks. They'll correct me after this show.
And you keep them busy?
In Santa Fe Springs, yes. So what we didn't want them located here. We have a warehouse in Santa Fe Springs where we just-in-time shipments of doors, et cetera, that we need to install. And the staff, Santa Fe Springs is as close as we could get to all the freeways. It's right there by the 5, the 605, et cetera. And the staff doesn't have to come all the way to Long Beach only to get their trucks and turn around and drive all the way back out to Laverne or wherever it may be. So therefore, that warehouse in Santa Fe Springs, I think we have about now 35 to 40 staff in our energy department.
Oh, for heaven's sake, and they're full-time.
Yes, they are full-time. We have a call center here in Long Beach, which is a separate facility. So basically we have 3 facilities. We have our administrative offices here at 117 Victoria. We have our call center, which is in the wing offices over by Paramount and Carson. It's an office complex.
You mean that we'll call about utilities?
Yes, that's where we have our 800 number where people can call in to get utility assistance information. And then we have our warehouse facility, which is located in Santa Fe Springs. And if people see the big hugging heart, trucks driving around Long Beach, which chances are you might, then that's our agency. That's Long Beach Connection Partnership.
I didn't know about that at all. I thought it was what we saw here and what you showed me and
Right.
where the teens can come.
Yes, yes. No, we have a much larger footprint, and I think that's really sort of an issue with community action nationally, because not all of us are called community action agencies. Some of us are private nonprofits, like my agency, and then some, for instance, like LA City and LA County, they receive community service block grant funding also, but that money goes into the city and into the county, and then it goes out in subcontracts, much like what I mentioned that we do, and you never know it was CSBG funding.
No.
And that's kind of a good news, bad news, because therefore then when Congress talks about cutting CSBG funding,
they don't really know what they're cutting.
Right. People don't realize on the streets, they're like, oh yeah, let them cut it. Well, what you don't realize is that maybe that's your child care program that they're about to cut, or your food distribution program, or your utility assistance program, or whatever the case may be. And so I think as a national network, hopefully we can get better at trying to brand ourselves, whether it's
what
public
it really
or
means.
private. Exactly. Because the first thing President Obama said, for instance, in his State of the Union message when he was elected the first term, was that he was going to cut community action by 50%. And we were all like aghast. Yes, like, wait a minute, it was the people that we serve that rallied most to get you into office, and now just off the top, you're going to cut us 50%.
He hasn't done
Why? He never did it. But
Just
every
the fact
year.
you talked about it.
Yes,
It's in jeopardy. Well, Derek, I only know what I see and what I saw, and I knew that it was much wider. That's why I wanted to chat with you about PADNet and really what Community Action Partnership is doing, because the facilities belie, I mean, it isn't just this.
No.
I mean, you have it all over town
Right.
with the 5 other nonprofits and trucks in Santa Fe Springs, which I had no idea about.
Yeah.
So your foundation do you constantly have to write grants?
Well,
And we're going to have to cut this short because
Yes.
I'm learning so much. I want it to go longer. So just real
Yes.
quick, do you have to write
Yes,
grants?
we have to
Okay.
write grants. We look for
Okay.
contributions, and we had our first fundraiser, Long Beach Nightcap, in February of this
Okay.
year, and we're going to do it next year as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Derek, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
You've
Thank
done
you.
wonderful things in the city of Long Beach, and we're so
Thank you.
lucky to have you.
I'm proud
Thank
to be
you
here.
very much.
My
Good.
pleasure.
Thank you very much. I know that you learned a lot. I learned a lot. And we didn't even talk about some of the big rooms they have for all of the studios that they are helping youth get skills that they could get probably no other way so quickly. I thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again.